Hey everyone, welcome to Marks on TV. I'm your boy Troy, and I am here to talk a little bit about Only Murders in the Building Season 2 today. We're only 4 episodes into the season so far. Most of my shows have wrapped up their seasons already. The Boys just ended, Obi-Wan's over. This is it. And, I'm pretty stoked about it so far. Before we get into anything, please like and subscribe. If the subscribe button is red down below, that means you have not subscribed. Please do that. Also, comment on the video. That would help. And share it around all your social media as well. We would greatly appreciate that as well. Now, let's get into Only Murders in the Building Season 2. As I said, only 4 episodes have dropped so far. And a little bit of information is out. They did this last season where, at least to me, I was confused through like the first half of the season because they're not really giving any clues that make sense at this point. They'll make sense in the end, but this early in the season, I like the fact that they're not making it obvious. I love a good murder mystery. And this is definitely it. Anyone who saw last season's finale obviously knows the storyline we're going down in this one, where the person who runs the Arconia Hotel or apartments, Bunny, was murdered, and she was found in Mabel's apartment, and Mabel was standing over her bloody. She was stabbed in the chest with Mabel's knitting needles, so she got arrested. Also, Charles and Oliver got arrested because they came into the apartment and were there with Mabel at the time that Bunny was found dead. We find out in the first couple episodes that Bunny was not only stabbed with the knitting needles, but she was also stabbed with a knife. Mabel had no idea where the knife came from. Obviously, the knitting needles she knew were hers, but other than that, she didn't really know much about it. We find out why Bunny was wearing an Only Murders in the Building hoodie, and that's because she had gotten lonely the night of her death. She had come over, she heard there was a party going on with Mabel and Oliver and Charles. She came over, gave them some good champagne, and they ended up not inviting her in, which turns out to be what she seemingly wanted. And she cried in the hallway about it. But before that, they gave her, in exchange for the champagne, they gave her a hoodie. So she was wearing that through the night. We also see some things in flashbacks that the main characters haven't seen yet because they weren't there, obviously. But Bunny was visited by somebody, and they don't show who, but they were the killer. They kind of forced their way into Bunny's apartment and stabbed her to death. And Bunny managed to make it over to Mabel's apartment, probably thinking that everybody was there and they could help her, but nobody was there. Mabel just happened to show up at the last minute while she was dying. Bunny's last words were also 14 and Savage. Savage obviously being Charles Hayden Savage's last name, or that's what they're assuming. And 14, they haven't really put that together yet. There are a few feelings that something to do with maybe the 14th floor, something about that. But again, these are all just theories I saw floating around online. But yeah, there was also an erotic painting that Bunny had in her apartment that apparently would cost a lot of money, that showed Charles's deceased father with another woman. And both of them were in the buff. Yeah, and it even said Savage on the back of the painting. They see this when they break into Bunny's apartment at one point, and then they find out she has a secret elevator in the back of her closet that leads to the back of the building where the dumpsters and everything are. They had no idea about this. Bunny's mother shows up to try to figure out what's going on. They were having kind of a wake for Bunny, and you find out from Bunny's mother that she was having an affair with Charles's father. Charles was also having an affair with the woman who painted the erotic picture of him. They still don't know who the other woman in the painting was just yet. They throw the painting out after it mysteriously pops up in Charles's apartment. They come in, they don't see it, and somehow it's in his apartment out of the blue. So they sneak it down to the dumpsters and put it in there. Amy Schumer moved into the building and into what was Sting's apartment in the first season, the penthouse suite. She ends up finding the painting in the dumpster area and puts it in her apartment, but Bunny's mother sees it when everyone, the three main characters see it in Amy Schumer's apartment, tell Bunny's mother about it. She checks it out, kind of barges in, and says, it's a fake, that's not the real one. The next thing to show up, which wasn't person to show up, it wasn't really evidence of the crime necessarily, but I'll get into that, is Lucy. If anybody remembers hearing Charles talk about Lucy from the first season, turns out it was his ex-wife's daughter, ex-girlfriend's daughter, whatever. But either way, he was a father figure to Lucy. She's grown up now. I guess she's at least 17, 18, something like that. And she ran away. She's not getting along with her mother, and her mother's new husband ran away to come see Charles. And apparently she knew about these secret passages through, behind the back of the walls of the Arconia apartments. She's been apparently using these for a while. There's a passageway right through Charles's bathroom that Charles never even knew about, but Lucy does. She ended up sneaking into those when Charles wasn't home one night. He didn't even know she was there. And she hears who's allegedly the murderer of Bunny escaping the scene of the crime through those passages. She didn't get a good look at him, though, or her, because she was hiding. But when Lucy was in Charles's apartment visiting, she pulls out a knife out of his kitchen there, and it's covered in blood. It was the bloody knife murder weapon for Bunny that just randomly shows up in Charles's apartment. They have no idea where it came from. Nathan Lane's character from the first season is back in the, he's wearing an ankle monitor. He's basically on house arrest back in the Arconia. And I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but him and his son are back. They're not getting along because of the trial and everything going on. And his son's very mad at him, and Nathan Lane's trying to help out. But obviously they're not happy with Oliver, so he's got to watch his back now, too, because he helped get them arrested. Everything's kind of important in the show. There's nothing, really, unnecessary going on. Everything means something. So another character in this season is Cara Delevingne. Shows up. She's like an artist / art collector, and she's kind of getting along with Mabel, and Mabel decides maybe she's bi, or I don't know, she likes women now, so they kissed, but Cara Delevingne hasn't been seen since episode 2, so yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Then again, Amy Schumer hasn't been seen since episode 2, I believe, so there have been a lot of things going on. The final scene from episode 4 was Charles going to see his ex-girlfriend, who they got arrested in the last season for the murder of Tim Kono, and he's talking to her in prison, and he's going to ask her some questions. Maybe she can help fill him in on what might be going on with Bunny's murder. There's other stuff going on, but those are the big points right now. Tell me if you guys have any theories going on about what's going on with Only Murders in the Building. Do you have any theories of who did it? What's going to happen in the next few episodes moving forward, etc., etc. I definitely want to hear from you guys, and thanks for interacting with me on all of this. I'm really digging the show, and I've only got my wife to talk to about this, so it was a little therapeutic. Definitely comment below, share on all social media, like and subscribe. Thank you again for joining me on Marks on TV. I have been Troy. We will see you next time.